I'm Brenda Crouch, and I'm really excited about this conversation we're going to have, and just want to invite you to pull up a chair and immerse yourself because you're in for a wonderful conversation about this amazing new film that is coming out very soon, and it's called 47 Days with Jesus. And my dear friends who are starring in the film, Jonathan and Cassie Byram, are here with me today. So, guys, you're in California, I'm in Texas. Welcome.
Thank
Hey,
you. Thanks for having
Brenda.
us.
Yes, thank you. Nice to see you.
Oh, it's so good to see your faces, and it's a lot earlier there. Well, you're a couple hours, so I know appreciate you doing this early in the morning. But you know what? I want to show everybody the film, the trailer that we have because it's great, and it'll just kind of give them a little teaser for what we're about to talk about. So let's watch this right now. 47 Days with Jesus.
Hey, hey!
Dad, Papa just started telling us this amazing story with people singing and dancing.
Oh, yeah? Dad? What are you telling them this time?
The story of the last 47 days of Jesus' life on earth.
Oh, you say the meeting is on Saturday? That's the day before Easter.
Yeah, so?
I gotta spend time with my family.
Don't you realize this is for your family? Where's Joseph?
Oh, he's on a work call.
This late? You're making the same mistakes that I made. It's painful to watch.
I have to make a choice for my family.
I want my partner back. I want my family to be whole.
If you ever feel stuck or lost, God is still at work in our lives. I have faith things will be okay.
It's life, Joseph. You might miss it if you don't open your eyes.
I love it. So let's talk a little bit about the cast. I mean, this is cool. They've got a couple of casts from The Chosen. There's Yoshi Baragas, who plays Philip, right, in The Chosen. Did I say his name wrong?
No, Yoshi. I think
Sounded right to me, yeah.
Okay. And
Yes,
Catherine Lidstone. And what's so cool is that they're more in the modern setting, and then one of the directors actually it plays Papa, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's Emilio Palame. He plays the grandfather, Papa. Yeah, and he was one of the, it was a co-directed film. But yeah, Emilio has a lot invested in the film and just so passionate about this story and did an amazing job and was really such a helpful guide to me on set. So,
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah,
yeah.
he looked like he did a fantastic job from the trailer. And then you, my friends, are real life mother and son. And this opportunity landed in your laps to be able to play Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Jesus. So, I mean, tell us how incredible that was for you. Because, I mean, Jonathan, you come from a trained musical background. And
That's right,
so
yeah.
you've kind of immersed yourself in the acting world. Tell us a little bit about this experience for you guys.
Yeah, well, I'll start. Yeah, like I said, like you just said, I'm a trained musician and singer. And so, yeah, and then again, Emilio and some others were very, very helpful in getting me kind of like just introducing me to this new world of acting,
Yeah.
of embodying a character, and what a character to try to embody. It was really kind of, mind blowing. And then, yeah, and then so very quickly after, I had been talking to them about playing the part, and it was good to go. They were like, "Is your mom available to play Mary?"
Okay, so that
And
developed a little later.
and I said, "I guess I'll ask her." Or
well, I've been doing this all my life since I was
Right.
19 years old as a professional actress. So I'm so proud of Jonathan because he's done some acting in the past because I dragged him around as a kid to a few auditions, but since then he definitely immersed himself and got his education as in composition and music, and he's multi-talented, but to step into
thanks, Mom.
sorry. Oh boy, I'm the one who needs water now.
Yeah.
It's, sure. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'll pick up from
So
there. So
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I grew up seeing my mom on stage.
Uh-huh.
She's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, she's
West
very
Side
talented. I
Story.
know that.
She is the narrator in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and then some TV stuff, Star Trek, and then Jake and the Fat Man, which I was a little bit too young to know about, but to see.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
so cool. And well, your whole family really works in the film and music industry, and you're all wonderfully talented. And it's been fun just, getting to know you over the years. But there's also a few other friends of ours that are in the film. Cameron Arnett. Let's see, he was from Overcomer. And then there's Joshua Triplett, who was in Grey's Anatomy. There's a wonderful cast.
yeah,
And
they were
so
amazing to work with.
exactly. Now, how did you like this? Was actually shot here in Texas, in Weatherford, Texas, at the Capernaum Studios, correct?
Yes, yes, there was a lot of filming that happened there at Capernaum Studios, there in Texas. Yeah, it was an amazing
And
experience.
what was your experience there?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you walk down this street that they've built, and it's like, you feel like you're in old ancient Jerusalem,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was a really fun time, and yeah, great experience there.
Yeah. Did you enjoy working together?
Very much so. It was really, it's almost indescribable for me to have this experience where I'm on set doing a film with my son playing a lead role, and then layer that with the fact that it's mother and son playing mother and son as Mary and Jesus. I could never, what scripture says, exceedingly abundantly above all you would ask or think. It really does fit into that on a career level and on a personal and emotional level.
I would imagine that it just really helps the dynamic, on the set. But I want to explain a little bit of the concept of the film to everybody. I know they saw the trailer that we played, but it's really about this family that doesn't realize how disconnected they've become, this modern day family. And then through Papa's or Grandpa's tales of the ancient days of Christ and the last 47 days of Christ as he walked on the earth, he kind of guides them on a journey, correct, back towards unity and really a rediscovery of their faith. So what I'd like to know, now I love that concept that, they're taking, the writers and producers are taking a modern day setting and then immersing the story of Christ, because I really think that we've become very disconnected with the person of Christ in our culture. So I guess my next question to you guys would be, how did playing a role like this even affect your own concept of the person of Christ active in your life, and how he lived, and the impact that he made, and your own faith?
Great question, Brenda. Can I start?
Oh, please.
Okay. So yeah, and it's the way you described the movie. I was realizing as I was listening to you, that's like how I very much view my own life. I am a modern day person, and my life is great. I'm a follower of Christ, and my life is greatly affected by this ancient story of Jesus. And so the more real that story has become to me, through studying the Bible, through my own life experiences, through learning from other people, and then other life experiences. Like I got to visit Jerusalem several years ago, and it just,
that'll change your life.
yes, and it did, and I'm grateful I got to do that before playing this role too. And so that story and his teachings and the reality of who he is, has, it roots me. It's the source of my identity. And, of course, as I fail spectacularly at trying to follow Christ every day, but that's just the beauty of it, this forgiveness and grace that's just abundant. And so for me, playing the role of Jesus, I experienced something brand new, because I had always the perfect example for me is the moment in the Garden of Gethsemane when Judas betrays Jesus. I'd always thought about that moment. I had thought about the prayers that Jesus was praying that are recorded in the Bible and Scripture, and then his interactions with the disciples, and all of what happens there and what that means for me. But for this role, I got to meditate on what Jesus might have actually been thinking
Wow.
while Judas was walking towards him, surrounded by a guard and some high priests. And I hadn't thought about that before, but that's what's required to act, to try to embody a character in a moment. And
Perspective, yeah.
yes, yeah, that truly like inside of their own head perspective. And I understand Jesus to be a person of infinite grace, fully human and fully God. And so to just use my imagination to, as best as I can, portray that and tell that story. I mean, I can't imagine the kind of internal pain and love and forgiveness all mixed up that he was feeling towards Judas as Judas was, doing this very, kind of tragic moment.
Betrayal.
Yeah. So that was a new experience for me with Jesus.
Yeah.
That
Incredible. I love
gifted me
that.
with the opportunity to have.
I love
Wow,
that.
that makes me cry. I mean, like
I know.
he has not shared this with me,
Wow.
so I'm hearing this for the first time, and that's just amazing. And by the way, Stephen Halo plays Judas, and he does a beautiful job.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we haven't mentioned David Cattell, who was the on-set director, who does. And there's some YouTube promotion out there where Dave is talking about the main core of this film is forgiveness.
Okay. I really think that's important. That message is so important right now to us. And, you said something so key about having visited Israel and how that was, it really is a life-changing experience, because suddenly you're seeing, when you're in the soil of the Holy Land, you're actually seeing the scriptures come alive to you in 3D. And I think that's really the purpose behind a film like this. So Cassie, I mean, how would you say it reflects, because as he's talked about this moment where Jesus sees Judas coming toward him, how do we understand that the person of Christ, who was the incarnate God, the fully human, fully divine, could know all things, see all things, and love beyond that brokenness in Judas, and yet walk, he didn't walk in the fear of what was coming. He knew it was his time. I mean, explain to us a little bit about how we're going to, as viewers, experience the person of Christ through this film. And what he means to us in our broken situations, where we're struggling with forgiveness.
Yeah. No, this is great. A great focus. Good question. And
I kind of like those deep wells.
Yes, you do, and I know you.
So I'm sorry if I put you on the spot.
Not at all. Not at all. And of course, I mean, I have to start with the fact that I, of course, don't have it all figured out.
Sure.
But I know what my experience has been, a lifetime experience concerning my journey with Christ. And when it comes to forgiveness, it's deep and wide, and it's continuous. But I also know that the recent experience I had on this film was also eye-opening. For me to embody Mary, the mother of Christ, and to have a physical experience of, going through, even though it's on set and there's cameras around, as an actor, you immerse yourself and you, as much as possible, become that character. And so, and of course, there was the other layer that this really was my son, to be the cross the way I am in the film, to be looking up and watching my son being crucified, was quite an experience. And what I found transcended that within the film was the realization that she may have had it before this happened, but that she is really finalized in her is the divinity of Jesus. That yes, this is my son. Yes, physically I bore this child, and yet this is God. This is way beyond what I can really understand.
And that journey really probably began for her, at the temple when they lost track of Jesus, and remember Mary and Joseph are looking for him, and he kind of scolded them a little.
Or even before that, with an angel coming to tell you,
yes,
you're
correct,
going to bear the Son of God. And the fact that she received it in that moment is phenomenal to me. Also, that tells you a lot about Mary. But I think along the way, you have this little boy who really is a little boy, and you start to lose that perspective a little bit. But then, yes, you're right. That moment at the temple where he's teaching his elders, and then that moment, and then, just
so it's kind of a final transition of this is the Christ, the divine. That's what we're beholding.
Which is what separates us completely from any other faith. That is the divinity of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Amazing. I would imagine there were tears flowing, and there was a lot of emotion on that set. Did everybody feel it when, everybody working on the set? How was it when you were filming there in Weatherford?
Yeah, there was a very good atmosphere on set, and both David and Emilio helped set that tone. But David, in particular, when we began filming this Jesus segment of the film, kind of gave a talk to everyone on set to really set that atmosphere up. And I really appreciated it. I wasn't expecting it, but as I was listening, I really appreciated it, and it definitely carried us through a lot of the shoot. And I mean, there was definitely a sense of the significance of what we were doing, but there was also just so much fun on set. I mean, the crew, everyone in the cast, the directors and producers, they were just delightful, and everyone was just so happy to be making a film that has a positive message that we were all, very proud of as we were making it. It was a very nice atmosphere, and the cast and crew has gotten together multiple times since the filming has wrapped up, to celebrate various points like the editing being done or whatever. And there was a Super Bowl party. We all got together at Joshua Triplett's house, the actor who played Jesus.
Fun.
Yeah, he's very, very generous to host all this. So
I love it.
Were there, and that was a lot of fun. I have to say, like I said earlier, I've been doing this for quite some time, and this is the happiest set I have ever been on.
Oh wow!
It was just joy-filled, and I loved being around. This was a group besides me and Emilio. This was a group of very young people, and so that was so encouraging to me about the future of film and visual media.
Yes, and I think my husband likes to say the level of the ocean is rising when it comes to faith-based films. I mean, we're seeing some wonderful quality being produced and story being told the way it should be. And, it's more relatable. So speaking of which, I mean, do you think, is this a film just for Christ followers, or would you say this is a film that anybody could relate to?
Oh, anybody could. This is about family. And that's what's wonderful about this. It really, truly is a family-friendly film. Other than the idea that, this beautiful person that you see throughout this film, Jesus, the crucifixion is always a sad moment. So I would warn parents, with children maybe 8 and under, 7 and under, that might be rough to watch their favorite character go through something like that. But other than that, I would
I know for me, watching, like the modern day stuff and thinking about that father's journey. You know, you saw in the trailer, he's on the phone, you know, his business partner is saying, this is for your family, you know, but he's trying to
Yeah.
balance life and work and family and,
Mhm.
you know, failing at it. Uh,
Mhm.
I relate to that every day. I'm, you know, I'm, you know, trying to accomplish something over here. And then I have two young boys, a 1.5-year-old and a 3-year-old and a wife. And, you know, they're everything to me, but then I go and work late when, you know, maybe I should have managed my time better, and I'm getting caught up in building
Mm.
myself and my kingdom and what I think, you know, my
Yeah.
work should look like. And it's just, it's a really tough ongoing thing to try to
Yeah.
reset priorities, you
Yeah.
know.
You know, Jonathan, I think we can all relate to that. And just, you know, it's part of that thing where, you know, we're laboring. And isn't that really what Jesus is calling us into, is a new way of doing things and
Yeah.
living in an abundant place that doesn't always mean consumerism, materialism, but we get driven and we think, we like to tell ourselves, well, this is for my family, and when the
Mhm.
family is suffering. And so it really is such a wonderful message to where people are living right now. I think anybody can relate to the characters in this film. I mean, I want to hear from both of your perspectives. What we've already delved into it a little bit, but what's your hope for the takeaway as people watch this? Believers, non-believers, what do you hope they take away from it?
You are, it's funny, you just said a line from the movie.
Mm,
This is for my family.
mm,
Uh, and that's somewhat misguided sometimes,
yeah.
because so my thought is that what people will take away is that it's okay, that they really can trust God to
Mhm,
meet all their needs.
mm,
That is a truth, an undeniable truth,
mm,
that all of our striving and all of our fears, we can lay that down,
mhm,
and we really can trust God, because he wants the best for us,
mm.
better
He
than we
does.
even want for ourselves.
Oh,
He
that's true. And we
wants that.
sabotage it by
Yes, we do
getting in the
sabotage
way.
with
Yeah,
our own crazy striving and
yeah.
efforts.
Yeah, our agendas and all the things we want to hold on to. So, Jonathan, what's your hope for the takeaway?
Well, I hope I learned that.
No.
That's, yeah. Yeah, it's certainly that. And then, you know, just from my own experience with the film, the thing that carried me through the film was forgiveness.
Mhm.
It was kind of an anchor that I just held on to as, you know, the character.
Yeah,
Um, and it really kind of was sort of a guiding, sort of a North Star for a lot of the scenes. You know, what does forgiveness look like with Pontius Pilate? What does forgiveness look like with Judas? And so, you know, I hope that that's a strong message or a strong feeling or sense from the movie. And then I also hope that there's really beautiful resonance for people when they see the modern day story
mm,
that's so relatable, and then this, you know, ancient story that's, you know, so relevant, so powerful. So I hope that there's, you know, some
yeah.
really beautiful resonance there
Can you
between those two.
describe that scene, or maybe your favorite scene? I know it's coming out soon, but are you able to maybe describe a moment in the scene that's impactful like that about forgiveness?
Yeah, I mean, certainly that moment with Judas. There are a couple of moments with Judas. I mean, the Last Supper is portrayed,
Mm,
and Judas is the first person that in the scene that I
mm,
pass some bread to.
right.
There's a really important moment there
Mm.
with Judas.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Do you
then
think
there's also
we all would see the Judas in ourselves in that
yeah,
moment?
that's that. I think that's kind of the deeper takeaway there.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely.
Mm, I love it.
Moment
Can't,
with Pontius Pilate as well, and that's you know, I mean, there's this man who, from my understanding, is obsessed with power,
mhm, yeah.
um, and
Mm.
security, and you know, and again, Cameron Arnett, your friend, and just an incredible actor.
Mhm,
Um, you know, he filled the room
mm,
during the filming of Jesus with that presence.
Wow.
A ruler, governing his area and looking at this, pathetic Messiah teacher, vagabond teacher. And, I mean, Jesus loves Pontius Pilate, loved him. And so that was another impactful scene for me.
Powerful. As you're talking about this, I'm thinking about something my friend Dr. Mark Sharona talked about recently, and he said, Jesus, we all are such power seekers in our culture, and that's partly where we've gone wrong. It's become very problematic for us on so many fronts, but what he spoke to was the reality that where was Jesus crowned king? And it was really there at the crucifixion with a crown of thorns. And it speaks to how humility and what Pontius saw as this miserable, pathetic person who was being victimized. He was not a victim, it was intentional. And his power was in his humility to absolutely expose the works of evil around him. And I think that there's a lesson that we can take from watching how that story affects our modern day issues, how it speaks to it, and what we need to return to. Guys, I love the concept of this film. I don't know all the theology behind it, and I haven't seen it, but I look forward to seeing it. And it's just been a delight to have you.
March
Cassie,
11th,
tell me.
March 11th, 12th, and 14th. It'll be in theaters.
We were about to go there. Yeah, tell us about how they can see it, the dates, and I know it's a Fathom event, so tell us, Cassie.
Yes. Fathomevents.com, which is, where you can get tickets. You can, they have a page where you can type in your zip code. It's nationwide. You put in your zip code and it'll show you which theaters it's playing in near you. And yes, March 11th, 12th, and 14th. And we're really excited. It's right around the corner.
Oh,
I'm going.
So everybody has to go.
Film. It's an Easter. How many Easter films can you name? It's an Easter film, so it's that's kind of fun. That it's that is that.
But the Easter story is something that needs to just permeate our beings, our identity, and the way we live, and something that we should carry with us every day. I love this. I can't wait to see the movie, and you guys are delightful. Thank you
too,
so
Brenda.
much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for connecting, for just being, taking what you do and doing it well, and you're following your own call and being a light in a world that is just really hurting. So I'm praying for this film to really reach into a lot of homes, a lot of families, and I'm going to tell all of our viewers today, the people that have joined us in this conversation, please share this video with your friends, with your communities, with your churches, just whoever you think might benefit from seeing 47 Days with Jesus. And any last words that you guys want to share?
We love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. And thank you guys for joining us on this really fun live conversation event about 47 Days with Jesus. Go see the movie. And Cassie and Jonathan, I'll talk to you soon.